Good afternoon.
Afternoon. I know. This is so exciting for us. What a red letter day. 2 podcasts in one day.
2 podcasts in one day. And as we said earlier, I'm super excited. I love just us being on the show, but for so many, and we are like 280, I think this is 287 episodes or something like that, just like mind blowing to me. But to know that like the majority of those episodes we had guests on and we had been taking a break, and just shout out to the world out there. We are open for guests again. But we have a super cool guest lined up. I'm so excited. Her name is Elysia Skye, and she's a speaker, a mindset and leadership consultant. She also has her own podcast called the Brilliance Method Podcast. And she's worked with Fortune 500 companies, global brands, countless individuals, guiding them to quiet the noise and strengthen their intuition and step fully into their zone of genius. And she's also big into intuition and community. And so really in absolute alignment with what we're doing. So without further delay here, I'm going to bring her on.
Hello. Welcome. Listening to intro, she is totally our people. I love this. Welcome. I am on my cacao high, just so you know. I had my big cup of cacao this morning and my energy is so deep and good right now. So I am drinking water. No one panic. I'm not doubling up on the cacao, but man, this is a fun day.
So it's so wonderful to be here with both of you. I feel like you're soul sisters to me too, even though we're just meeting right now. It's so fun listening to your show and now being a part of it. And I hope other people, as you suggested, will reach out. I didn't even know you were having guests back. I was just like, I feel motivated and inspired to connect. And here we are. So trust your intuition, people.
I love it.
Absolutely. Did I miss anything important in your introduction? Is there something else you want to share with our audience about who you are, what you do?
Oh, no, that's beautiful. Yeah. I facilitate a lot of events. I have a virtual retreat that's actually kicking off officially tomorrow called Divine Direction. Graciela and I were chatting about the Dirty Dancing theme. I love to add a theme to my retreats. It just feels really, really fun. So just things like that. I have another one coming up in February. We can talk about all that later.
I love that. In looking at your website and your bio especially, you have quite the varied history. I did pick up on I was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Love that. You're a multi-passionate professional just like us. Talk to us a little bit about intuition. Did you use intuition to guide you into all of these different spaces, or was it a big epiphany for you?
It was a little bit of both. And when I was younger, I was raised by a mother who was just like us. Like if she were still with us, she would be on the show probably. Like we would just be hanging out together, and that's truly the best way to describe her. Just magical human being, just like you ladies. And she really nurtured the idea that we have this internal guidance system and to trust ourselves. And she would often ask me, well, how do I feel? Or she didn't say hit. I use that word a lot, like what's the hit? But she would say things like that to just encourage me to trust myself. And she had told me when I was about 10 years old that she wasn't going to live to be 50. And I remember as a kid having a meltdown about that, of course, right? She was my best friend. And she did unfortunately die in an accident when she was 37. So when that happened, I was like, this intuition thing is probably something I should pay attention to, because mom had it really so strongly that she was able to, obviously it didn't save her life, but it navigated her in a way where she could prepare us. She lived her life to the fullest. That's the way I want to live my life. And then when I was 24, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And even though it sounds like it's sad, actually this week, today, this whole week is 20 years from when I had my surgery. And thank you. I realized it this week. I was like, oh my gosh, today, what's today? The 23rd. I was still in the hospital recovering. This is a monumental week for me. So I'm so happy that I'm here with you. But the long story longer, but almost done. My doctors had said to me, you don't have cancer. You're 24. It's probably just a cyst. And I insisted. I was like, no, I know. Like I'm quite medically intuitive. I just knew I'm not a hypochondriac. So I insisted. I paid for some things out of pocket to get tested. And yeah, listening to my intuition truly saved my life. So now, like non-negotiable. If I feel something is out of alignment, it's a no for me. And I don't get on the plane. I don't say yes to a client who seems awesome. If something just feels off, I need to sit with it and trust it. And it's really helped me create my life in a way that is so much easier than it ever was before I put this into practice.
Beautiful. It's something we work with a lot with our clients and audience as well. I'm wondering if you have any like golden nugget tips that you typically share with people on how to either strengthen their intuition or trust it more, or yeah,
absolutely. It starts with presence. And it's so easy to be distracted and busy in these times. And I can at least say for myself, I used to put so much emphasis and pressure on external validation and what did everyone else think about me, and worrying about whether it was the industry or a boyfriend or something like that, right? And then when I realized, wait, if I just sit still for a second, and that's a hard thing to do when you don't like her, when you don't like being in there, right? When the world seems like I need to control it or it's going to fall apart, which happens when you lose your mother young or you have some trauma or whatever people might go through, right? So I know where it came from, but that harnessing of, can I just be present? Can I just be here? In this moment, I am safe. Our guides, our angels, source energy, the universe is like, wait, the light bulb's on. The sign's on. She's open for business. Let's go in and send her the messages that she needs to hear right now. So that's the main thing. And I know that for a lot of people, that's not always the easiest thing, but it's not easy, but it's simple. Mm-hmm. Just put the phone away, sit, have your cacao or your tea, and just breathe and receive and listen. And it kind of goes into a meditation, right? It's not a practice of not thinking. We're going to think. We're human. Our brain is going a million miles a minute, but it's noticing, it's being present enough to notice, wow, I'm having all these thoughts. I said I was going to sit here for 20 minutes. It's been 30 and all I did was think about my calendar. Okay, that's okay. Don't judge that. Just notice it and let it go. I like to think of those intruding thoughts like ocean waves, right? They crash against the shore and then they go away. And then they come back and then they go away, right? And this is a muscle that we build to go, wow, I haven't had any wave crashes. I've actually just been present, focused on what it is I'm doing. So just harness your presence the best way that you can, whether that's mindfulness practice, daily meditation, slowing down to notice what's happening in the world around you. I've had the absolute privilege of officiating over 1,000 weddings in my lifetime.
Wow.
It's a big deal. And yeah, it's so amazing. And my clients would always say to me, wow, you helped me remember my ceremony. Because before we walked down the aisle, I would say, just drop in, right? Drop from your head, drop into your heart, and notice something about one another. When you walk down the aisle, notice people smiling at you. It can feel overwhelming, all those people looking at you. And I know on one of your last episodes, you were talking about receiving. I'm like, we can talk about that all day, but it's truly a receiving exercise to be mindful and to let spirit in, right? And so when a couple is facing each other, holding hands, do you feel the temperature of each other's hands? Breathe. If you see me breathing, it's because you're not. So I'm taking a nice deep breath. You take a deep breath. Everyone in your guests, your audience thinks you're just peaceful. They don't know you might be freaking out, right? Just breathe. So if you play this back, whoever's watching, and you want to decode this a little bit, breathe, be present. Don't judge your thoughts. Give yourself some time and space and grace to just be alone with yourself. Know in this moment that you're safe. Allow your guides, your angels, your ancestors, everyone to come through and give you the messages you're here to receive. But that also means you have to receive them. You have to allow them. And a lot of people have this objection. Well, I've made so many mistakes in the past. I don't really trust myself anymore. I get it. But here's the truth. If you really were present enough to listen. You received the right information. You just didn't follow her instructions. You did. No, you always knew.
And I think your advice to create that blank space, right, to receive that message is such an important distinction, because we can really fall into fear and thinking and, is it my intuition telling me not to get on the bus, or is it my fear telling me not to get on the bus, right? Is it that anxiety? Is it that thing that's coming up? And so one's coming from the brain and the other one's coming from source. And how do we tell the difference? And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, be quiet, just sit still, right? So that you can differentiate what is fear versus what's really that intuition coming through.
That's right. And it takes practice to recognize the difference between the two, right? And if you're in your head so much, you might even notice your own body language. If you're doing this while you're worried about something, it's probably just your mind trying to trick you, right? The ego trying to keep you safe. Don't get on the bus, right? Don't go meet the love of your life. We're safe right here, right? We don't want to die. The ego is not eternal. It doesn't want you to take those big risks. It has all the best intentions to keep you safe. But then your heart is going, no, it's okay. It's okay. This is my destiny. So how do we know when it's our head or when it's our intuition? You just start to get really familiar with it. Really get really familiar. And I like to play little psychic games. I even had posted on TikTok at one point, like, here's all these color crystals. Which one did I pick? Right. And everyone's guessing. And it's not about getting it right. It's never about getting it right. It's about training yourself to understand, how does it feel when I tuned in and made a choice? And if you got it wrong, well, you get familiar with, how did that feel versus when you get it right, how did that feel? And then you just train your intuition that way. Just play with it.
Yeah, I love that you use the word play too, because I feel like we take life way too seriously all the time. And even for myself, I know I try and sit in the space of play, but universe keeps reminding me, like, there's more play, have more fun. And so, yeah, not taking it so seriously and just being lighter about it will make it easier as well.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Like, we're here to have fun.
I also love your wedding tip. I have done one wedding I've officiated, but I'm going to steal that. Like, for the next one, I'm definitely going to get them more present.
Just ground your energy. You'll remember more.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the spaces that you're also in is the corporate world. And it's interesting, I don't know how much of our podcast you've listened to, but I'm also a photographer, and a lot of the things that we do here in this space really translate into that world as well, because let's face it, it permeates everything. Being present makes everything better. I'm constantly telling my clients to breathe. I'm like, if I'm taking a deep breath, you're taking a deep breath. We're doing this together. But I constantly say to my branding clients, wellness is the future, if not the present, of corporate America. The days of working for the almighty dollar aren't going to fill you up in that way. And so how do you see intuition and wellness and this healing practices showing up in the corporate world?
Well, I'm so grateful that it's becoming more and more of a thing. And the word mindfulness became a buzzword. And then when people were realizing they were losing profit, companies were losing profit because people were overworked and stressed, and you only have so many sick days. Then you start taking paid time off for sick days, and then people are quitting, and it's very expensive to train people. Training programs are very costly. So like, oh my gosh, why is there so much turnover? There used to be loyalty. And the younger generations don't have that specific company brand loyalty like maybe our parents did, where they stay at a company. I worked at the post office for 50 years. Like, that's just not really a thing anymore, because we grow, we evolve, we're trusting and tapping into our creativity. We're showing up in our genius. We know what we have to offer. And if there's not room for growth there, then what do you do? One of my friends, she's so brilliant. She's been at this company, and she created a new brand underneath the company. So now she's like running this new brand. So she gets to stay with the company, but she still gets to honor that entrepreneur that's coming out, right? So anyhow, all that said, more and more incredible organizations are saying, how can we support the mental health of our employees and our teams, because maybe that's going to help our bottom dollar. And like, fine, if that's your reason, I'm cool with it, because I want to come in and push a domino for everybody to be kinder to each other, to be more compassionate with how they treat themselves and one another. I want them to take the work we do in the workshops home to their families and receive support from their kids and help each other and be more loving to their partners and whoever they live with. So it's truly about aligning with, and anyone who's listening who's like, I do a lot of wellness work and I want to get into the corporate world, connecting with people who are in human resources. If you truly look at the foundation of what are human resources, right? It's to support that human element, bringing the humanness I don't even know the way to say it. We are beers, not doers, right? It's like, just be. Can we be and still accomplish? Yes, we can, right? Not losing that sense of purpose in all the doing. And my friend Kayla Bartell runs an incredible company called Humanity HR. So if you really want to understand what that is, or you're looking for an HR team to bring in, that's a great, great organization. So I connect with a lot of people like her, human resources leaders, people in learning and development, even though that was not a thing for a minute. And a lot of that has changed, but people who care. It can even be managers, VPs, C-suite executives, people who care, right? And just like we do as entrepreneurs when we are connecting with clients or selling workshops or whatever it is, people buy from people. So I just connect, and I connect to be helpful. I connect to be loving. And these amazing people that go, you know what? I understand that most people are spiritual. Like 80% of people are spiritual. Right. And then there's another percentage that are very religious. And then there's another percentage that are, atheist or agnostic. And because the majority is open to this kind of thing, there's a space for us. There really is. Right. So just don't make assumptions. And when I go in, we're doing meditation. We're playing some games connected to mindfulness. We're learning about how to be compassionate in our communication, how to reduce stress, how to listen to your intuition so that you can make better choices, so you can be kinder to each other. When people bring me in, they notice that employee complaints around each other go down because they can practice not taking things personally and having conversations with one another and not being offended by everything, and knowing that everyone is showing up doing the best that they can with what they've got that day. And some days are better than others, right? Mm-hmm. And how to speak our truth and how to stand up for ourselves in a way that's kind, and do it early enough before we're resentful and then we blurt out something we probably will regret saying, right? So it's not even just like a one and done. There's some maintenance, right? I usually go and I'll work with people quarterly with their teams, different teams, and conferences of all sizes. I even had Banana Republic, the clothing brand. They did something so fantastic. Every Wednesday, it lasted for about 12 weeks. We got on a call at 8 a.m. for 20 minutes, and I just led a meditation and did some grounding. It was like, hey, just like Wellness Wednesdays, right? So these incredible leaders get these amazing ideas. So for anyone who's listening or watching right now, if you're a leader at a company and you're like, wow, that could actually be really cool, find it in the budget, borrow it from next quarter, right? And get brilliant, amazing people like us to come in and facilitate kindness.
And watch it make money, right? Like if you're money driven, cool, that's awesome. Know that you can make more money doing it like this, like this, that's okay. That's okay. It's fine. There's space for everybody. I'm reminded of Cacao. Julietta and I always talk. We're very cacao based, program, so to speak. But we talk about how cacao is such a heart opener, and it's such a warming thing, and it's such a connector and activating heart chakra and things like that. And imagine that, back in the day, you would have cacao before you had any important conversation. So just imagine if that was your work day. Imagine if you walked into a big board meeting where you were about to have a giant presentation, and before anybody said a word, everybody just dropped in and took a breath and had some cacao, right? How might this world be different if we were all on this level of mindfulness? I love what you're doing.
It would be amazing.
Go ahead.
Some people might not understand cacao. There could be a learning curve. So you just say, we're going to do a hot chocolate ceremony, right? Or not even, I wouldn't say ceremony. We're going to have a little hot chocolate chat, right? You get them in with that kind of verbiage so that it makes sense to the people who want to show up. Because the people who are hiring you, they might get it. They might be fans of the show, but they got to convince their boss and their teams to actually come to this hot chocolate chat. And then once you get them there, do what you need to do, right? Yes. But you keep the language still high level corporate so that they feel comfortable and safe. We want them to feel safe, like they're not being indoctrinated into something they don't believe in.
So as you were talking, it's funny, like Graciela and I, our brains were on the same page there, but I was like, most of these corporations, like they have the break room with the coffee. And I had this like, what if they had cacao in the break room? Not just coffee. And then when you were talking, it brought me back to, how cacao like arrived in our life. Was one of Graciela's clients was like, I want to sit in this photo shoot with you, but I want to have cacao with you first. And I'm thinking, like, if you're going for a job like with a big company and they really want you, say, I'll consider your offer, but if you sit and have cacao with me first.
There it is. Okay, so here we're doing it here first. We're going to start a brand called Corporate Cacao.
Yes. I love it.
Right? And we'll white label one of your favorite cacaos, and then we'll go and have cacao chats.
I love it.
Totally doable. Totally doable. And you know what? We always say that everything that we teach and explain, our retreats, the podcast, everything, it's all a practice of choice. We explain it from the very, very beginning of whatever the practice may be, whether it's chakra balancing or a cacao ceremony or whatnot, but we explain everything. And once you demystify it, you see that there's really nothing to be afraid of, that honestly, it's just a wonderful addition to your own life, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about the healers for a second, because I found on in your information that you have this, be the lighthouse, don't be the lifesaver. And I love this concept. Can you share that for our audience? Because we have a lot of healers in our space. And I think they need to hear your perspective.
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, as I mentioned earlier around the breast cancer diagnosis, it was a lot of saving other people, trying to fix other people. When mom dies when you're young, you become the matriarch. And then especially when you lose someone, you have trauma, like, well, how do I grip this and save everybody else? I need to save people. I couldn't save her, right? Those kinds of things erupted in my life. And I realized, being the lifesaver, meaning that, that like styrofoam disc they toss off the boat, and thank goodness it floats. But then the people who are scared in the ocean, they're grasping it, right? They're pulling you under, they're grasping you. It's cold. There's sharks. People are yelling. It's stressed. You're like, no, I got you. Just hold on to me. I got you. I'm going to bring you to shore. And you know what? If enough people hold on, you're all going to sink. Like, it only can carry so much. And I was carrying so much. And when I was going through my treatments, and so many people would ask me, wow, you're so young. You don't quite have a family history. My grandmother had a different thing. It was like a stage 1 little lumpectomy thing. Mine was very, very different, very aggressive. Like, why did you get cancer? Like, it came up so much. Like, why did I get cancer? And then I realized it was so much unhealed trauma, grief, maybe some past life stuff, but all the doing, fixing, saving, not knowing that I'm enough and that I can just stand tall and strong on the shore and be a lighthouse and shine my light so bright that whoever feels motivated and inspired to be a better human and find their way to the shore, knowing that they are just as awesome, if not awesomer than me, and stand next to me just as strong, just as tall or taller, and shine their light just as bright or brighter. And there is space for them on that shore, that we are all worthy and deserving of a happy life. So if you find yourself in a relationship you probably need to get out of, or something like that, or you're the person at work that's always putting out fires and you're pissed about it and you're building resentment, but you haven't asked for more support, right? We don't ask till we're tired. What's that about, right? Ask for support, receive it, but stand tall, be the lighthouse, not the lifesaver. Especially as healers, we think we're going to absorb everybody's problems, and that makes empathic people sick.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that kind of feeds into, I know community is important for you, and community, that was part of me creating the ministry that is now my baby here. But the universe just kept pounding in, like, you need to make this more community, because I was seeing people one-on-one and individually, and turning it into community has been a game shifter. And so talk to us about community.
I love community, and I love that you love community. And like, here we are in this community, and everybody who is listening and watching, they're part of this community, and it's just who we are. We're a tribal people. And I've been reading more and more lately that we were never really meant to know the news of the world. That unless it was an extreme circumstance, we weren't even really supposed to be connected to people on the other side of the world, and to a certain degree, it's a blessing to be able to have our social media and our email and our text to, reach our friends in Australia and all these other places. I'm so grateful for it, but it does a number on our nervous system to know these things. So I like to create these intimate communities where even if people are from all around the world, and I love that they are, that we can feel safe without being a lifesaver, right? That I'm attracting all these lighthouses together. And I have a Facebook group called the Trailblazer Community for people who are paving their own path to connect. And you can promote your business anytime for free. I don't charge for any of that stuff. We've got one rule: don't be an a-hole. And other than that, which is the Stone Gossard Credo, Graciela, by the way, Pearl Jam reference.
I used to have rule number 5: don't be a, dick. So.
That's right. So everyone is welcome to come and join this community. Just look for the Trailblazer Community for connecting for intuitive, creative people. So it's people just like us. And I do work with clients one-on-one, and I love that. I always will, to a certain degree. My one-on-one practice is a combination of coaching and intuitive, right? It's like a psychic life coach or business coach session. And I love to gather in virtual retreats, in-person retreats. As I mentioned this week, we're kicking off Divine Direction. It's like truly energetic entrepreneurship. I've been telling everyone this is going to be like an energy healing for your business. So just go to ElysiaSkye.com/events and just go register. You're not too late, or you can catch the replay if you're finding this in the future. And when I notice, you know what it was truly, Julietta? I hosted an in-person event at my house. I have a background as a video producer. I worked in Hollywood for almost 20 years. And I noticed that a bunch of my clients, right, healers, coaches, authors, writers, teachers, body workers, their online presence kind of sucked. And it's not my main passion to teach marketing, even though people ask me about it all the time because I'm good at it. So I said, you know what, everybody come to Nashville, and I'm going to gather my crew, and we're going to produce videos, almost commercials or teachable moments that we can put on your website so people know who you are. And everyone came. It was so much fun. We called it Content Camp. We just got so much content done. I taught them my soul-aligned sales process and how I attract the most magical people and how to have content on autopilot without being online all the time and all the things. And then when everybody left, I felt a void and I felt sad. And I'm actually quite more of an introvert than an extrovert. So that was weird for me to feel that. Normally when people leave, I'm like, oh, thank God, right? Go in the pool. Don't talk to anyone for like 2 days. I'm like, no. Women need to gather. Like, there's a reason they tried to get rid of us, right? And it spiritually awakened men and anyone of any gender or non, right? Like, let's get together and create magic. And my circles, my communities, it's not a place where I make everybody share and we don't cry all the time, even though I cry all the time. So you're welcome to. I'm going to cry every single day. But it's not that vibe. You know what I mean? It's like, let's talk about what we're passionate about. Let's work through the fears and the limiting beliefs and the things that we can set down and give back to source and remember who we are. I have this tattoo. It says, remember your soul. Written in one of my best friend's handwritings. So it's that, right? It's reflecting back. It's shining that light. It's stepping into your lighthouse queenliness. And it's just my favorite thing. So now once a year or so, I gather in person. In February, we're meeting in Fort Lauderdale on the beach, Valentine's Day weekend. And we're going to do goddess work. We're going to do intuitive development and Akashic records readings and energy healings. And we're going to get some stuff done in our business too. And we're also just going to play and relax and receive and eat good food. And yeah, I call that one Clarity Camp, although my clients call it Witch Camp. And that's fine. Like what you do, you boo, right? So we have to do what lights us up, and it lights me up to be with other people, creating positive change in our own lives so that we can be effective in the world.
I love it. I love it. You are absolutely a soul sister. There is no question that the universe brought you to this exact moment. I mean, it'll take me another 50 minutes to explain everything that you just talked about that aligns with what we do. But one of the things that I love so much is how little effort it takes for the magic to show up. Just putting a group of women together, and like you said, aligned men and non-gender, it doesn't humans. Okay. You just get a group of humans together in a safe space, and all you have, it's like, like when you see astronauts floating in outer space, all you need is a puff of air to get that momentum going. Like, that's it. It really is. And just, like, come into these spaces, folks. Like, there is nothing scary about being authentic, about living aligned, about feeling good and peaceful and being with other people that feel the same way. There's so many more people that want to feel good and happy than not. There's so much beauty. There's so much alignment. Just open yourself up for it. Come to an event. I mean, my goodness. Yeah.
That's true. And you have an event in January, right?
Yes, we have our Wild and Free retreat coming up that will be in Sebastian, Florida. And we are super excited about that. And I didn't realize you were coming to Fort Lauderdale. So I'm like super excited about that.
Let's go.
You can connect in person. Yes. And yeah, the majority of my work still is individual one-on-one work. And it amazes me how many people have this thought. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. And they'll come in and they'll be like, you are the only person I can talk to about this stuff. And I'm like, if you all just like opened up your mouth and shared without fear, you'd realize like we are all in this space together. And, so this is so much about modern society has tried to separate us out, and, like, look at the pandemic and what that tried to do for us. And if anything else, I'm grateful because I think it was a big wake-up call for people to realize, like, no, we need community and we thrive in community. And so let's create more community. So, yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And I have a couple of group coaching containers, and I have a Patreon community too. And that might be one of the easiest places for your listeners to go, in addition to the Trailblazer community, is patreon.com/the Brilliance Method. Once a month, I host a spiritual think tank, and we just have conversations like this. And it's so fun. So I love that you guys are doing that in January, and I'm going to peek at the dates. Maybe we can figure it out.
All things are possible. Now that I know that you're just 4 hours from me, I mean, there's a whole party coming up here. So
yeah. I love it.
This has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I want to give you space for one last nugget, one last tweetable final thought. What would you like our audience to know?
This week, I just want to just stay so present in where I'm at right now. This week, I've been so aware of when I have a thought come through, like an egoic thought that's going to thrash my joy in the moment. Mm-hmm. And for example, if you say to yourself, like, oh, why aren't I more successful right now? Or why haven't I lost the 10 pounds I want to lose? Right? Oh man, but we don't even say that. We're not even that kind in how we say those things to ourselves or ask ourselves those questions. Right? So what I've been doing this week is I've been asking my future self how I got so damn rich and how I got so damn fit. And I'll just walk the dogs and I'll visualize her. And I'm like, wow, how'd you build so much muscle in your arms? Right? And then she'll tell me, wow, how did you make millions of dollars in 2026? Like, oh, whew. And then I hear it now, right? I hear her telling me now, like, I just listen and let it land. So if you find yourself going, God, why did I screw that up again? How did I get into so much debt? Or God, I did it again, right? Whew. Ask your future self, how did I get out of all the debt? Tell me, show me. And that little practice that I've been doing in the last week not only has given me so many ideas, but it's calmed the worry and the fear. And I get to set it down and just be present for magic and possibilities. Game changer.
I love it. And just to let you know, our listeners are thanking you as well, Elysia.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for that, Pam. And we will, check the show notes. I'm going to be adding some extra stuff in there as to how to find Elysia. It has been this has been better than I even imagined, finding such a soul sister to come back as our first guest after the break. And so I'm like, we might just bring her on as a regular on the show because she's so aligned with us. So, all right, with that, it's been wonderful chatting here, and I just want to wish everybody a magical day.